Hello and welcome to FD, where we're ranking the 10 richest clubs in the world this year. Get set for surprises and some absolute eye-watering numbers. 10. Tottenham Hotspur, $1.06 billion. A surprise entry, Tottenham Hotspur somehow pipped Paris Saint-Germain to 10th place on this list. The Parisians are valued at $841 million. Amazing given that Qatar Sports Investment paid just $100 million for them back in 2011, when the club had finished 4th in Ligue 1. But they're still more than $160 million behind the North London outfit. Spurs do make less money each year than PSG and Borussia Dortmund, but with the new White Hart Lane set to open in 2018 and the third highest ticket prices in Europe, that'll soon change. A second place finish with a club record 86-point tally last season netted them over £192 million in prize money. And young stars like Harry Kane and Dele Alli mean the squad's value will only increase too. Meanwhile, Tottenham spent $150 million on wages in 2016-17, about half of Arsenal's salary spending, and $100 million less than Liverpool. Turns out club chairman Daniel Levy is even more of a magician than Maurizio Pochettino. 9. Juventus, $1.26 billion. In at 9 and worth 1.5 times as much as Milan, the next most valuable Italian club are Juventus. The Bianconeri have won 6 consecutive titles and 12 trophies over the last 6 years, finishing on average 10 points ahead of second place and losing just 20 league games since 2011. The Champions League has helped keep the old lady flush with cash, as the competition allocates money to each nation and shares it according to how the country's teams fare in Europe. So, while Napoli, Roma and the Milan clubs have struggled, Juve's 2 trips to the UCL final have earned them over $300 million in the last 3 years, more than any other team in the tournament, including Real Madrid. That's helped Juve spend more than ever before in recent seasons, with Dybala, Alexandro, Bernardeschi and Miralem Pjanic all among the top 10 fees a team has ever paid. And that's without mentioning record signing Gonzalo Higuain, whose €106 million move made him temporarily the most expensive South American in history. 8. Liverpool, $1.49 billion. Finally back where they belong in football terms, Liverpool have always been a financial juggernaut, retaining the 8th place they reached in 2016. The Reds are now worth around twice as much as Atletico Madrid, and the club's Anfield ground is in the process of being expanded to 59,000 seats, from just 45,000 in 2014. After 7 years under the control of Fenway Sports Group, who also own the Boston Red Sox, Liverpool are in their best shape since the days of Rafa Benitez. The Merseysiders have a world-class manager in Jurgen Klopp and have paid under £40 million apiece for Mo Salah, Roberto Firmino and Sadio Mane. The return of Champions League football will also boost Klopp's coffers, but Liverpool still have a long way to go to catch their English rivals. 7. Chelsea, $1.85 billion. Whatever your feelings about Roman Abramovich, the Russian has turned his Chelsea side into a global superpower, while billionaire owners have come and gone around Europe. The Blues have also made a fortune through selling their army of loan players and unwanted stars, leaving them with a net spend of just £19 million over the last 3 seasons. During that time, Chelsea have won titles under 2 different managers, making them the second most successful side of the Premier League era. They've also broken their transfer record for strikers with Alvaro Morata, midfielders with Tiémoué Bakayoko, and defenders with David Luiz and Antonio Rudiger. No matter which coaches come and go, Chelsea remain a trophy and money machine, though for all their silverware, they are still only the second richest side in London. 6. Arsenal, $1.93 billion. For now, Arsenal remain $80 million ahead of Chelsea in the money table, about the value of one Alexis Sanchez if you're an Arsenal fan. Despite a disappointing 5th spot in the 2017 Premier League, the Gunners retain their place among the elite thanks to the second highest ticket prices in Europe, with only PSG charging more than their £2,013. Wenger's side need that income, as since they let Robin van Persie join Manchester United in 2013, they've only sold 2 players for more than £10 million, Wojciech Szczesny and Thomas Vermaelen. However, the decade-long commercial deals they signed on moving to the Emirates have now elapsed, giving Arsenal the chance to make more from sponsorship. A $30 million a year switch to Puma from Nike has helped, but reportedly the club may buy themselves out of the deal to double their money with Adidas. However, with the squad struggling to compete and to keep hold of their stars, they may need to put less money in the bank and more on the field. 5. Manchester City, $2.08 billion. Arguably, Man City's value is completely arbitrary, given that the side is bankrolled by the United Arab Emirates and basically have as much money as they need. When the Sky Blues were hit with FFP sanctions in 2013, their income miraculously increased by £40 million the following season, just enough to avoid a suspension from the Champions League. Back in 2008, Khaldoon Al-Mubarak paid around £200 million to purchase the club from former Prime Minister of Thailand, Thaksin Shinawatra. That's less than Pep Guardiola spent on Edison, Danilo, Mendy, Walker and Bernardo Silva in 2017, showing how the value of the City brand has gone from strength to strength. City also have an outstanding new academy which costs around the same amount, and affiliated clubs in Japan, the US, Australia and Spain, which they use to develop their stable of young talent. Surely it's a matter of time until the citizens reach top spot. 4. Bayern Munich, $2.71 billion. Miles ahead of 5th place and miles behind 3rd are Bayern Munich. The Bavarians make around $650 million a year, nearly twice as much as rivals Borussia Dortmund, and have won 8 out of the last 10 major German trophies up for grabs. It helps when you can simply pluck talent out of any team in your league, but Bayern have strict ideas about transfer fees, having never paid more than £40 million for any player. Unfortunately, the academy seems to have stalled in recent years, with David Alaba, Thomas Müller and Mats Hummels the only starters educated in Bavaria, and Hummels had to leave for game time. But given that at the time of writing, only 3 Bundesliga clubs have a net spend of over £20 million in the 2017 transfer window, it's no surprise that Bayern Munich remain head and shoulders above their rivals. Their German ones anyway. 3. Real Madrid, $3.52 billion. Dropping from 1st to 3rd this year are Real Madrid. In 2017, Los Blancos became the first team to win back-to-back European Cups since Arrigo Sacchi's 1990 AC Milan side. Before this season, Real Madrid had topped the rich list for 12 years, and the stewardship of Zinedine Zidane seems to be a stabilising influence, with Real buying only Alvaro Morata in the summer between their Champions League wins, making a £6 million profit. At 32, Cristiano Ronaldo remains a huge commercial draw, just as well given that Real paid the superstar $58 million in 2016. That's nearly twice as much as NBA star LeBron James earned. Meanwhile, the emergence of young star Marco Asensio, as well as the purchase of Vinicius Jr. and a rumoured move for Kylian Mbappe, looks set to keep Madrid competitive both on and off the pitch. 2. Barcelona, $3.64 billion. It's a bittersweet second place for Barcelona, matching their finish in this season's Spanish league. Back in 2015, the club looked set for a new era of dominance after winning the treble, but the shock loss of Neymar in 2017 could prove a catastrophe for the side's commercial power. Though Messi continues to pump money into the Camp Nou, the Argentinian is now 30 and won't always excite fans in the same way. At 5 years younger, Neymar was expected to keep the team solid while Barca rebuilt, and he was ranked as the 14th most marketable athlete in the world this year, ahead of Serena Williams, Usain Bolt and Floyd Mayweather. Instead, the Blaugrana now have to scramble for replacements, who might help the team, but are unlikely to bring in the cash. And bad transfers like the calamitous €55 million signing of Andre Gomez in 2016 could see Barca stuck behind Real, like in the 6 years between 1999 and 2005, when they didn't win a single trophy. 1. Manchester United, $3.69 billion. For all United's dysfunction since the departure of Alex Ferguson, the Red Devils continue to amaze commercially. Though they spent 2 of the last 3 years out of the Champions League, United have broken the world transfer record for Paul Pogba and secured the biggest kit deal of all time, netting £75 million a year from Adidas. Huge moves for Lukaku, Pogba, Martial and Di Maria have brought United spending to over £700 million since Ferguson retired. However, that's only resulted in League Cup, FA Cup and Europa League wins so far. But the club earns more than $750 million annually, nearly $100 million more than Bayern Munich, and at current rates, they are expected to reach 9 figures a year by 2020. The return to the top table of European football can only help United, And their lead over the competitors is so big that they can spend the same as Chelsea or Man City on transfers and buy a player as expensive as Pogba every season. That's frightening.
So I hope you guys enjoyed that. As usual, let us know what you thought in the comments below. And if you liked that, why not check out the video that's on screen right now? Click it, it's a good one. And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe.